You didn't say anything wrong. You didn't ask for too much. You didn't crowd them. And yet, they shut down anyway. Maybe it happened mid-conversation. Maybe it happened the morning after a beautiful night. Maybe it happened when you said, "I love you" for the first time, and instead of warmth, you got silence, politeness, distance. If you've been watching this series, you already understand why avoidant shutdown. It's a nervous system response, not a choice, and it runs deeper than any single argument or moment. But what you really need to know, what most channels never get specific enough to tell you, is exactly which moments pull that shutdown trigger, because they're not random. Research shows the shutdown follows predictable patterns, specific situations, specific types of emotional pressure. Today, I'm going to walk you through 5 of them, each one backed by peer-reviewed research published in 2024 and 2025. And I'm going to tell you what the evidence says you can actually do in each situation. Because understanding the trigger is only half the equation. What you do in that moment determines whether the shutdown deepens or slowly, over time, begins to change. Let's get into it. If this is your first video in this series, in the previous video, link is in the description and the end card, we covered what's actually happening in the avoidant brain during intimacy. We looked at the neuroscience of deactivation, why closeness registers as a threat signal, and why the shutdown happens below conscious awareness. That video is the foundation. This one builds on it. We're going to talk about 5 specific real-world triggers, moments you've probably already lived, and decode each one. One important note before we start. Throughout this video, I'll be talking about both dismissive avoidant and fearful avoidant patterns. Where they respond differently to a trigger, I'll tell you, because those differences matter enormously. All right, trigger 1. You've been seeing each other for a few months. Things feel real. You finally bring up the future. Labels, commitment, where this is going. And they go somewhere else entirely. Maybe they deflect with humor. Maybe they say, "Let's just enjoy what we have." Maybe they get irritated or suddenly remember they have somewhere to be. This isn't avoidance of you. Research is very specific about what's actually happening here. A 2025 study published in Current Psychology, drawing on samples across 4 countries, including the US, Israel, Spain, and Turkey, confirmed that avoidant attachment consistently predicts withdrawal behavior across all cultural contexts when partners perceive pressure to commit or move closer. The key word there is perceive. They don't have to actually be pressured. The anticipation of emotional demand is enough to trigger the deactivation. Avoidants don't shut down because of pressure. They shut down at the anticipation of it. Here's what that looks like in real life. You frame the conversation as light and open. "I just want to know where your head is at." But for an avoidant nervous system already running a background threat scan, the topic itself, commitment, labels, future, lights up the same circuitry as a direct ultimatum. Their internal experience in that moment, based on research into avoidant internal working models, goes something like, "If I answer this honestly, I lose control. If I get closer, I'll be trapped. If I commit, I might fail them and confirm every fear I have about myself." So they exit the conversation, not because they don't care, because the emotional cost of engaging feels unsurvivable in that moment. What to do? The research on this is actually encouraging. A 2025 attachment security priming study, published in the Journal of Cognitive Psychology, found that avoidant defenses soften when closeness is framed around peer connection, safety with a friend, rather than romantic obligation or future expectations. In practice, instead of "where is this going?" try "I just enjoyed being with you and I want to be honest about what I want." State your own position without making it a question they have to answer under pressure. Then stop. Let the silence do the work. You're not removing your needs. You're lowering the perceived threat level enough for them to actually hear you. Trigger 2. Conflict and the demand-withdrawal cycle. You're upset about something real. You bring it up. They get quiet. You press harder because the silence feels like dismissal. They withdraw further. You escalate. They shut down completely. Sound familiar? This cycle has a name in the research literature. It's called the demand-withdrawal pattern, and it's one of the most studied dynamics in couples psychology. A landmark dyadic study published in Frontiers in Psychology, conducted with 175 couples, found that avoidant attachment is more strongly associated with withdrawal during conflict than any other attachment behavior. The avoidant partner withdraws, the anxious or pursuing partner demands. The withdrawal deepens in direct proportion to how much the other person pursues. The harder you chase in conflict, the deeper they go. And here's the part the research makes especially clear. Across 5 studies with over 1,200 couples, researchers found that avoidant partners enact greater withdrawal during both conflict and daily life, and that withdrawal directly reduces their partner's sense of power and voice in the relationship. What that means for you: every time the cycle runs, you pursue, they withdraw. It reinforces the pattern on both sides. Your nervous system learns to pursue harder. Their nervous system learns that withdrawal works to end the pressure. And here's the part that's hardest to hear. The research shows that avoidant individuals who use withdrawal as a conflict strategy show lower relationship satisfaction themselves, but their nervous system doesn't connect the dots. The short-term relief of withdrawal overrides the long-term cost. What to do? The most counterintuitive but evidence-supported move in this trigger is this: name the pattern without engaging in it. Research on attachment-informed conflict resolution recommends something like, "I notice I want to keep pushing right now, and I notice you're pulling back. I don't want to do this loop again. Can we take 30 minutes and come back to this?" You're not abandoning the issue. You're breaking the cycle before it runs its full course. That alone, done consistently, begins to rewire both nervous systems over time. Trigger 3, when you need them most. This one is quietly the most painful of all 5. You're going through something hard, a family situation, a stressful week, grief, anxiety. You turn to your partner for support. And instead of warmth, you get practical suggestions, a change of subject, or a wall. This isn't them not caring. This is actually one of the most well-documented features of avoidant attachment in research literature. A 2024 neuroimaging and EEG review published in PMC confirmed what attachment researchers have suspected for decades. Avoidant individuals disavow needs for attachment and avoid effective closeness, and they use expressive suppression to keep their attachment system in a low activation state, actively preventing others from perceiving their internal emotional states. Here's what that means in human terms. When you become vulnerable, when your emotional need becomes visible, 2 things happen simultaneously in an avoidant partner. First, their attachment system activates. Something in them wants to respond to you. They feel something. Second, their deactivation strategy fires immediately to suppress that response, because responding to your vulnerability means accessing their own. And that's the thing they were taught in childhood was not safe. Your vulnerability activates theirs, and that's exactly what they've been running from their whole life. A 2023 PMC study on attachment and emotion regulation confirmed that avoidant individuals rely on suppression, not reappraisal, as their dominant emotion regulation strategy. They don't process the feeling and then respond. They suppress the feeling before it becomes a response. So when you're vulnerable and they give you practical advice instead of comfort, they're not being cold. Their nervous system has already blocked the emotional channel before they consciously chose to. What to do? This one requires the most patience of all 5 triggers and the most self-honesty. In the short term, make your needs specific and small, instead of "I just need you to be there for me," which is emotionally open-ended and activates the deactivation response. Try "I just need 10 minutes to vent and I'm not asking you to fix it." A bounded, time-limited, low-pressure request gives their nervous system a container it can actually operate inside. Longer term, if your need to be emotionally supported is consistently unmet, that is important information, not about your worth, about compatibility. Trigger 4, the criticism shutdown. You give feedback, even gentle, reasonable feedback. Maybe you say something like, "I felt hurt when you didn't check in," or "I wish you told me you were going to be late." And something closes behind their eyes. They go flat or defensive, or they dismiss what you said entirely with "you're overreacting." This shutdown under criticism is one of the most documented and most misunderstood avoidant responses in clinical research. Here's the mechanism. Avoidant individuals, according to the neuroimaging framework reviewed in PMC, maintain their psychological stability through a positive self-model, a strong internal belief in their own competence and independence. This positive self-image is not arrogance, it's armor. It's the structure that was built to compensate for an early environment where they couldn't rely on emotional connection for security. Avoidantly attached profiles are organized around deactivating regulatory strategies and reduced conscious affective evaluation of threat, meaning that when criticism lands, the brain suppresses the emotional signal before it can be consciously processed. What that looks like on the outside? They don't respond to your hurt. They respond to the threat to their self-image. And importantly, this triggers regardless of how careful you phrase the criticism, because it's not about your delivery. It's about what criticism means to a nervous system that built its entire identity around not needing anyone and never failing. A 2025 study in the Journal of Social Humanity Perspective confirmed that avoidant individuals consistently adopt withdrawal and avoidance strategies that suppress open dialogue and prevent resolution, and that these unresolved conflicts accumulate over time, steadily eroding both partners' emotional security. B-roll. Avoidants don't hear, "I was hurt." They hear, "You failed. You're not independent. You needed someone and you couldn't deliver." What to do? The research on this recommends a specific reframe that separates your experience from an evaluation of them. Instead of, "You didn't check in and it hurt me," which lands as a verdict, try, "When I didn't hear from you, my mind went to a dark place and I felt anxious. That's about me too. I just wanted you to know." You're still expressing your truth, but you've removed the implicit accusation from the sentence structure. For an avoidant nervous system scanning for threat, that difference is enormous.
Trigger 5. Too much, too fast, even when it feels perfect. This is the trigger that breaks people's hearts the most, because it happens when everything seems to be going right. You spend 4 days together and they're present, warm, engaged. Then on day 5, they're cold and need space. You have the best conversation of your relationship, and they don't text you for 2 days. You finally feel like the walls are coming down, and they put them back up higher. This is not mixed signals in the traditional sense. This is a documented nervous system response to exceeding the window of tolerance for emotional closeness. A 2023 eye tracking study published in PMC, one of the most innovative methods ever used to study avoidant deactivation, found that avoidant individuals use the deactivation strategy specifically to process comfort-related attachment stimuli, treating closeness-related cues as threatening, even in non-threatening conditions. Read that again. Comfort itself became threatening. And a 2025 study on attachment security priming found something even more striking. Attachment avoidance predicted attentional disengagement even from security-enhancing stimuli, suggesting that highly avoidant individuals may disengage from closeness at an early stage, before it can even take effect. In plain language, their nervous system starts pulling back before closeness fully arrives. The anticipation of depth is enough. They don't run because closeness felt bad. They run because it started to feel good, and good means vulnerable. This is one of the most painful paradoxes in avoidant relationships. The better things get, the more dangerous it feels to them. The closer you come, the louder their internal alarm. What to do? The research here points towards something called pacing with predictability. Rather than pulling back entirely after a deep connection, which can trigger abandonment fears, especially in fearful avoidance, the goal is to create a rhythm that doesn't escalate unexpectedly. This doesn't mean suppressing yourself. It means building consistency instead of intensity. A predictable check-in rather than 3 days of silence followed by an intense weekend. Steady warmth rather than peaks and valleys. Research on earned secure attachment, the process by which insecurely attached individuals shift towards security, consistently identifies predictable, low-pressure responsiveness as the primary mechanism of change. Not grand gestures, not ultimatums, consistent, unhurried presence. That's the environment in which avoidant nervous systems gradually, slowly begin to learn that closeness is survivable. The pattern underneath all 5 triggers. You may have noticed something across all 5 of these triggers. They all involve one core thing: a moment where the avoidant nervous system perceives that emotional demand has exceeded its capacity to safely respond. Not that the demand was unreasonable, not that you did something wrong. The perceived cost of feeling and being expected to act on that feeling exceeded the capacity their nervous system currently has. This is the frame that changes everything. Because when you understand that, you stop making the shutdown about your worth. You stop trying harder to get through the wall, and you start asking a different question. Is this person actively working to expand their capacity, or is the ceiling fixed? That question, not do they love me, is the one your long-term well-being depends on. A person can have genuine feelings for you and still have a nervous system that cannot currently meet your emotional needs. Both things are simultaneously true, and only one of them changes anything about whether the relationship is sustainable for you. What to do in each trigger. So let me give you something concrete to take out of this video. Not theory, not more explanation. One practical, evidence-based response for each trigger. So trigger 1, the define the relationship conversation. Stop asking questions they have to answer under pressure. Start stating your own position instead. Not, where is this going? But, I enjoy being with you, and I want to be honest about what I want. You are not removing your needs. You are lowering the perceived threat level enough for them to actually hear you. That difference, according to the 2025 Journal of Cognitive Psychology priming research, is the difference between a nervous system that shuts down and one that stays present. Trigger 2, conflict and the demand-withdrawal cycle. The most counterintuitive move and the most evidence-supported is to name the pattern without engaging in it. Try this. I notice I want to keep pushing right now, and I notice you are pulling back. I do not want to do this loop again. Can we take 30 minutes and come back to this? You are not abandoning the issue. You are breaking the cycle before it runs its full course. Done. Trigger 3, when you show emotional vulnerability. Make your needs specific and small. Instead of, I just need you to be there for me, which is emotionally open-ended and activates the deactivation response, try, I just need 10 minutes to vent. You do not need to fix anything. A bounded, time-limited, low-pressure request gives their nervous system a container it can actually operate inside. The research on avoidant emotion suppression is clear. Open-ended emotional demand activates the block. A specific container bypasses it. Trigger 4, feeling criticized or evaluated. Separate your experience from a verdict about them. Instead of, you did not check in and it hurt me, which lands as a judgment, try, when I did not hear from you, my mind went somewhere anxious. That is about me too. I just wanted you to know. You are still expressing your truth, but you have removed the implicit accusation. Trigger 5, rapid escalation of closeness. The research points toward what it calls pacing with predictability. Not pulling back entirely after a deep connection, which can trigger abandonment fears, especially in fearful avoidance. Not suppressing yourself, but building consistency instead of intensity. A predictable check-in rather than 3 days of silence followed by an intense weekend. Steady warmth rather than peaks and valleys. Research on earned secure attachment consistently identifies predictable, low-pressure responsiveness as the primary mechanism of change. Not grand gestures, not ultimatums, consistent, unhurried presence. Here is what all 5 responses have in common. None of them involve chasing. None of them involve withdrawing. None of them are manipulation tactics or strategies designed to make someone do something. Every single one of them comes from the same place, a regulated nervous system choosing to respond rather than react. That is the variable the research keeps returning to. Not what you say, how regulated you are when you say it. And regulation is a practice, not a personality trait. It means pausing before you respond. It means feeling the urgency to chase and choosing not to. It means knowing your own nervous system well enough to recognize when you are activated and taking 10 minutes before you speak. That practice, done consistently, changes the entire dynamic of the relationship, not because you are managing them, because you are no longer adding your activation to theirs. A 2025 study in the Journal of Social Psychology found something that stopped me when I read it. Anxious partners' daily well-being was strongly predicted by their own perception of events than by their partner's actual behavior. Read that again. Your inner state, how regulated you are, how you interpret what is happening, has more influence over your daily experience than what your avoidant partner actually does. That is not a reason to accept bad behavior. It is a reason to invest seriously in your own regulation, because your inner state is the variable you actually control. So the practical summary is this: learn your own triggers, regulate before you respond, make requests small and bounded, name patterns without engaging in them, build rhythm, not intensity. None of this is easy. All of it is learnable. And all of it starts with the same question, not what can I do to change them, but what can I do to show up differently in this dynamic? Because that is the only variable that is actually yours. If you're watching this series and recognizing someone in your life in every trigger, I want you to hear this. Understanding them is not the same as accepting being hurt by them indefinitely. The research we've looked at across this series, from neuroscience to dyadic couple studies to clinical attachment work, all point toward the same conclusion. Avoidant patterns can change, but only with consistent, intentional work and usually with professional support. Your understanding of their nervous system can make you a more compassionate partner, but it cannot do the work for them. What you do with that knowledge is entirely yours to decide. In the next video in this series, we're going directly at the question I get asked more than any other. Can an avoidant partner actually change? And what does the research say real change looks like? Not hope, not optimism, the actual evidence. Link is right here. I'll see you there.